Barnes & Noble has temporarily closed over 500 stores across the country, while major indie bookstores have laid off hundreds more.
5 reasons why libraries are dying around the world. Subscribe to the channel and comment down below saying I subscribe to enter this month's shoutout giveaway.
Putting this sense of community that we get from places like libraries and bookstores in jeopardy.
Number 1. The internet. When the internet first came around in the 90s, nobody could really imagine the potential that it would bring of ushering the world into the future. The internet was not only a way for us to connect to the world, but a way for us to connect to an unlimited universe of information. In the early days, it was all about talking to the one guy who lived in one place that wasn't sure where you lived, and it was all for naught, just pure entertainment. When we started seeing the potential to turn entertainment into a tool, that's when life for us started changing as we know it. All information at our fingertips. Nobody grabbed a Merriam-Webster anymore, and most people don't even know what Britannica is. That's because things like Wikipedia came along and brought us explanations to things that we never thought we needed or wanted to know. I remember my college professors attempting to tell me that sites like that were not reputable sources of information. Here we are years later, and it's the #1 site used to get any information needed for general use, essays, tests, and exams. When it came to things like world history, back then you'd scurry off to the library to get all the books on European history, whatever your test was about, and make notes on whatever information was relevant. Now that's all been reduced to grabbing your laptop and clicking your search box, which brings me to my next point.
The study also revealed that 30% used the library's website over the last year, and it was mostly to check out a book.
Number 2. Google. I'm not saying that Google killed the library, but what I am saying is that after AOL and Yahoo, Google has become and still is one of our top source for instant information. It's the search engine that gets us to things like wikipedia.org, further proving the point proven above. If you wanted to know about French toast, just hit a Google search bar and it was all right there for you. As Google has grown into the Death Star that they are, now you're able to find books there under the Google Books section, no longer needing to carry around that load of textile in your JanSport.
Nearly 60% of Americans have an active library card, which is slightly more than those who own a smartphone.
Number 3. E-readers. This is the next book we will all depend on. I wonder who heard the name Kindle and thought the thing was going anywhere. You know what? Who cares? It came, it conquered, and is still the standard for books on the go. This, like the internet, was the next jump into the future. It was the coming of age and people were taken by storm. Fast forward a bit and now we have e-readers in all different types of flavors. Nook, Kobo Reader, Sony e-reader. Plain and simple, it's just the drawing of a new age and a point of efficiency in daily life. With e-readers, nobody has to go anywhere to get a book. Everything is right at the fingertip. At libraries, there is the simplicity of knowing the book you're looking for, but actually having to find it, talking to help desk, getting reference numbers, and actually doing the footwork to locate it, only to be possibly disappointed if the book is misplaced, lost, or stolen. You just don't have the issue with e-readers.
Researchers found that some of the most frequent internet users were most likely to be frequent visitors to the library.
Number 4. The bookstore. When I was growing up, you could have said Barnes & Noble, Walden Books, or any others, and I would probably look at you crazy. I just didn't think about retail when thinking of books. It's not rocket science. You could sell pretty much anything, and books have been selling for years. There have been sporadic booms of popularity throughout the 90s and into the early and mid-2000s. So with clever promotion, you can appeal to customers who'd rather own something as opposed to just borrowing what could possibly be the only copy available at the library. With these current times, bookstores are being acquired by each other, and some are just straight up going bankrupt and pulling out of business, but that isn't really saying anything about the fact that books are and forever will be a marketable medium.
Our reading habits, especially when you look at our reading habits around books. So when you ask people about the most important services that libraries offer in their communities, they mention books and they mention librarians.
Number 5. Time. It all winds down eventually. Everything has a beginning and end. There's no real reason to think that books will ever stop existing, but it's sort of a domino effect. It's pretty much a boil down of everything stated above that brings the ultimate conclusion that with technology and the coming of time, things just get lost in the age. There are so many points of life that go from being the in thing to just being a point of nostalgia. I don't like to think that I won't ever be able to physically walk into a library again, but with public sales slowly declining and newspapers scrambling to complete with the internet on how to process and get the information to consumers, it's a very real possibility that one day I will look at my grandchildren giving them the back in the day speech. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.